Welcome to the Big Roofs podcast. We're your hosts, John and AJ. Today we are joined by a special guest, Chris Scoville. And Chris, welcome to the show.
Great to be here. I years ago I was at a trade show, and I don't know if they compete with you, so I'm sorry if they do. And it was a t-shirt that said, I like big roofs. Like
There's
I
several
just
people
looked
who,
at
yeah, there's several people who have done that. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, it's so great. And then I don't know why I fell into the roofing industry so long ago. Well, maybe we'll talk about that today. There's this, you know what Dewar's Scotch is?
Yes, I know.
So it's this shirt that says, I'm here for the Scotch. And it's just like lettering across, and it's so stupid and it's so simple. And I was like years ago, because I'd be walking down the street with a shirt on, and everyone would yell, Scotch. And I'm like, gross. Like, because I hate Scotch, but I don't know, this shirt was cool and it got a lot of attention. So I went on to one of those t-shirt, things where you can design your own shirt, and it said, I'm here for the roofs. And I was like, how cool would that be if like a company like your company, right, had that, and then on the side it just had your logo, right? So you're just branding and you're knocking or selling retail, and you've got this big loud shirt that says, I'm here for the roofs, you know what I mean? And then you could have one for the guys, the air conditioning and solar, like it could go on and on and on. As long as you got your your company and your colors and your branding, man, it might do well. So
That's a great idea.
what a great way to, Peach State Roofing, right? You've got such a cool logo. It's so clean on the shoulder right there. And then it's just like, I'm here. What are you here for? Well, baby, I'm here for the roofs, man. Like, I don't know if I'm not here,
lean into it.
Yeah. Lean
Don't
right
let anyone forget. Don't let anyone forget what you're there for.
Yeah. These are always fun, right? These podcasts, because you never really know how we're going to start them off. And I started off with just branding,
T-shirts,
advertising, and marketing.
That's fun.
I can't think of a better way personally. I think that sounds like the best way.
If there's one pain point all home improvement services have right now, and John can attest to this because he was up the other night doing a video at like 3 in the freaking morning. Contractors need more relationships. I hate calling them leads, because leads is such a commodity, right? Like you can go into Walmart and Kmart. Oh, is there? You go into Walmart and buy a lead off the shelf, and it's just like a commodity, right? Like $9.99. Here's your commodity. It's a lead. There's nothing impressive and nice and warm about that. Whereas when you say, hey, you know what? My guys really need more relationships, because a relationship is like the beginning of something. A lead is so cold. Like, oh, I got a lead. Oh, that's nice. Go out there and treat that lead well. It's like, what? Because you're not always gonna win the job, right? But if you start a relationship and a friendship or just something, it doesn't only have to be a friendship. If you start something with somebody, you start a relationship with them, you might not win the job, you might lose the job, but at least it gives you the ability to call that person back and ask for referrals from the relationship. Right?
Yeah.
Like years ago, I know we're going off a rabbit hole, but this is cool, fun way. Years ago, I wrote a business plan on a bar nap. And it was called the R3 method, which stood for reviews, referrals, rewards, and retention. Now, eventually it turned to the R4 method. And the big story with this thing was the fact that there was this tree, and the tree had fruit on it. And all of your employees, John, would run out every morning to go grab the fruit, AKA low-hanging fruit. Grab, run, sell. Grab, run, sell. Eventually, John, all your people came back to your sales pros and said, John, there's some more freaking fruit on the tree. And you look at them and go, well, did you replenish it? Did you nurture it? Did you fertilize it? Did you water it? Did you do anything to the roots? Now, the roots are the relationships, the referrals, rewards, and retention, to keep feeding the tree so we'd have more fruit for everybody. So that was the concept of our R4 method, was how do we get more reviews? How do we get more referrals? How do we give rewards? How do we thank people? And how do we retain people, retain our customers? Because if we're always just grabbing fruit, the fruit's going to be gone and the tree's going to die. But if we're constantly replenishing the life of the tree and the roots are strong and the foundation is strong, that fruit will always keep coming back abundantly, and your entire team will always have fresh fruit. And that's just such a simple concept in business that we never think about is we just want to go out and grab leads and run and sell them instead of replenishing the tree from the ground up with, how do we retain them? How do we love on them? How do we communicate to them? How do we drip on them? How do we ask for referrals from church, work, and school? How do we reward them? Do we just send them a postcard, handwritten? Thank you so much for doing business with us. It was so nice meeting you and Bella and your kids. Hopefully Janie does really well this year in volleyball. Think of us next time that somebody in the neighborhood might need our services, right? Like just simple shit. It doesn't have to be spending absorbently amount of money on gifts and Cutco knives, and could be a $10 gift card. Some of the best rewards that I've gotten from people are just people writing me a hand card and sending me a coffee thing because they knew that my wife loves Starbucks. So anyway, I digress. I'm here.
Most people, including myself, are the R1 method. We're like, well, maybe R0 method. Like people don't even get reviews. Like I've been convicted over the past about month. I've been in Brad Akers' group. He's describing exactly what you're saying, which is coming from a funnel method, which is picking off the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And it goes from prospect to lead to customer. And just what you said, there's no relationship there.
Yeah.
Prospect, lead, customer, hopefully review. We have a good system to get reviews. We could be better at that though. That's not even that strong. So the flywheel, it's essentially the same thing. Are you nurturing those things? Are you doing the little things on a consistent basis to develop those relationships, to ask for referrals, to actually build in a reward system? Like we've never done that before, and it's definitely to our detriment.
Yeah.
And so what you're saying is resonating really clearly to me and my team.
You read the book Giftology?
I know of it. I have not read it.
So, it's such a simple process. John Rowland. So it's interesting. I already had this when I was thinking of the concept of R4 method as a business, as automation, and follow up and having it completely automated with boop, click, and the R4 method happens, right? And then I met this guy online. I read his book. I was like, yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm flipping. I'm like, yep. You got to do that. Retention and loyalty. Yeah. Is it practical? Yeah, it's super practical. Like it's such an easy read. And when you read this, you'll go, holy cow, I don't need to spend a lot of money. I just have to do it.
Yeah.
Now,
you have to actually execute it.
The interesting thing in the R4 method, when I was thinking about it years ago, trying to automate it and all that cool stuff, is I thought about the sale happens after the sale. So to your point, that funnel, right? It comes down, the lead comes in, and then you get them there, and then you get them to the sale. And then the sales rep's like, yeah, I'm done. My concept was, dude, you ain't done. The sale just started. So the funnel went like this. It went to the sale, and then it went like this. It was shaped like an hourglass. So if you can imagine, the sand goes down, it gets to the bottom, the sale happens, and then the sand comes out, and then you keep flipping it, right? Conceptually flipping it, because you want to keep that circle of like a Hakuna Matata coming, right? And that's when the R4 kicks in. What happens after the sale? So yeah, man, it's cool stuff.
That is so valuable, that perspective of the relationship over leads and really investing in that. And this is a different view on it from what you're taking. You're talking about purely a sales context, but I had almost an immediate or a very recent experience that's comparable, and that is hiring. So we're hiring right now for ProLine. And so I've been doing interviews with a bunch of different candidates for several different roles. And there's a specific role I was hiring for, and talked to some really great people, really, really talented. But there was one candidate who was not only talented, but also was proactively building the relationship with me over the last two weeks since his interview, or really even before his interview. He was kind of daily being like, hey, like I watched this podcast of you guys, and I really liked what you said about X. What about this thing? Or going to our website and saying like, hey, I saw this thing on the website. I don't know if that's what you meant to have there. Like I just want to make you aware of it. Like these little things. And 2 weeks in, it's like now I have 2 weeks of context with this guy, and the next best candidate, who was honestly quite talented, is someone I've had one Zoom call with. And it's like, who am I going to go with at the end of the day? Like, as long as I don't feel like I have to take a cut on quality, like, I'm going to choose the person I have now 2 weeks of context with.
Because you guys developed a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's so, I'm never one to preach from the pulpit that I'm perfect, right? I'm the best sinner in church. That's why I keep going back to church, by the way. I'm the best sinner there. I'm really good at it. So do I follow the R4 method? No. Do I know why? I got a scaling problem. I got a team problem. I got a Chris Scoville organization problem. Like, I know why I can't do the R4 method. I'm inundated. I'm slammed. I'm booked today from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. And if I didn't shut it down at 8, I'd be on till midnight. I have a problem. I can solve for it by building a team, which requires capital, and I need to raise capital. Like, I know what my problems are. I know why I can't do the R4 method. I know why I can't follow up the way that I'm preaching follow up now, but I'll own it. And I'll know someday when I build a team, I can build it and do it, So I think that stepping into it and going, here's my situation. I need to adapt. And to John's point, I need to execute and actually take action. One of my biggest issues that I had when I had my software company, which we're exiting, by the way, we're rolling that up into another entity. Because I never really wanted to own a software company once I had it built, was getting our contractors to take action on the solution that we built for them. It was so weird. Like, they'd spend money, you'd give them this thing that the thing did, and then you tell them how to use the thing, and they would never use the thing. And then they would come back and say, dude, the thing didn't work. And I'll say, well, did you do these 10 things we told you to do? And they'll go, no. So when you're in software and you make a sale of a thing that does something, getting the person that bought the thing to take and actually take action and execute and use it, very much like what CRMs, what's the best CRM out there? Well, the one that you actually use, right? Like, use it. Even if it's on the most basic level, use it and then learn the next, and then learn the next, and learn the next. And before you know it, you're superly proficient with whatever your CRM and your tool is. So
all those little things. Did Hermosi say is there's no silver bullet, there's like 100 golden BBs? Is that what he said? Something like that. Yeah, so like that's all it is. It's just like everything. I have said this many times about telling people about Roofle or about ProLine, about whatever they're like calling me for. Yeah. Like, look, there's no silver bullet. You have to do the work and be consistent at doing that work. It's not easy. It is simple, but it is not easy. You have to still do it. Yeah. And they're like, what? I'm like, are you doing these things? The same thing you just said. Are you doing these things? Well, sometimes it doesn't work. You have to do it every time. You have to shoot little golden BBs all the time.
Let me show you guys how I'm going to own it publicly, because I don't give a shit. I already told you what my problem is.
When are you going to hire your team? What's your timeline?
Yeah, you said you're talking about you're going to raise some money.
I need to raise money. If I get money, I can hire a team. I don't have any money. I just, I built this new company just a few months ago out of necessity, because I was kind of pinched out of the finance area. Well, I don't want to really get into it because of non-competes and solicitations, but I was forced to go build my own finance solution called Improvifi. But here's my problem, guys. I have Pipedrive. See all these people? These people need to be called because they're leads that wanted financing. All of these. Do you see what I'm holding? I'm holding paper of hundreds and hundreds of contractors that need my services, that need me to call them back and follow up with them. And do you know what I have? I have a CRM. And do you see what I'm doing right now? Do you see this? This is paper. Guess how old this paper is?
It looks really old. It looks really old.
This is 3.5 weeks ago. And there's probably 275 contractors that need and want my services. And because I don't have a proficient CRM system and a team to follow up with them, I'm not doing them much value or service. I will own it. I'm not doing the best job that I can for them.
It's tough. It's tough. This is the thing.
It costs money and time and energy just to go from like what your position is right now.
Yeah.
To in the business, on the business, same thing we always talk about. But it takes days at a time away from the things you normally do to build all those things you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have to stop what you're doing and do the other things to build those things that you need.
Yeah.
It's not just money; it's the time it takes to make.
And you got to be able to shut everything else off.
Yep.
All of the distractions, the DMs coming in, hey, I need financing, I need financing, I need financing, I need financing. I was up in the Carolinas exploring and kind of feeling some things out from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday with my wife. She is not going to divorce me. We're staying here in Florida. We're not moving to the Carolinas. Okay.
Good.
Anyway, we were out there exploring. Now, mind you, I had missed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of work. And I have a scheduler, a Calendly that says meet Scoville, right? Real simple, meet Scoville, 30-minute meeting. Most of my meetings are 20 minutes, right? It's booked from Tuesday to Friday, every day, half an hour on the half hour, no breaks for lunch, nothing.
That's the way it goes.
So to say to your point, to pull yourself away, to go create systems and processes to manage all that, I'd have to literally shut down for another 2 days, which would bury me for another week. But eventually, because of the systems, processes, and team I could build, I'd be able to, set this thing up properly. But anyways, this is like really cool stuff we're talking about right now that I'm sure lots of listeners and contractors and roofers and marketing people are watching this going, yeah, man, I got that problem too, bro.
It's so much. And I think, this is one of the big things we're trying to solve with ProLine, at least for contractors, is at the end of the day, like there's no silver bullet for sure. Yeah. But with everything and how ProLine has been designed, we try to make it a trade-off. You put in an input and you get an output that is equal or greater than the input that you put in. Either that's because of automation, like for example, maybe you do have to manually put in the project information. Like when you have an appointment scheduled or something, you might have to put that information in manually. Sometimes it's just how it goes. Yeah. But then it goes into sales follow-up or the lead nurture campaign. And then ProLine's doing, 5 different sets of touch points on that contact over the next week and a half that the user doesn't have to pick up on. So you're never going to get out of having to put in the work. One of the things that we try to focus on and we're, because I think a big frustration a lot of guys have with their CRM is they feel like it's a black hole of time. So like they put time in, it just goes away. They don't get anything else back. But we always try to make it where, you're going to have to put some effort in, but all of that effort should then result in a massive amount of work ProLine's doing for you. That's our philosophy on it.
Is ProLine more of a lead capturing, nurturing CRM, or is it more of an operational measurement, operating and running your business CRM? Like, give me an outline of what ProLine really is.
Definitely the first. So we're actually starting to really communicate ProLine as a communication first CRM.
Okay.
That being said, this whole summer that we have lined up is all about building out the operational side. So our plan is to be better than anyone else on the operational side as well. We don't want any holes. We're not trying to be a one-trick pony.
We already have the amazing proposal converts to work order, converts to material order. We already have that basic
scheduling. We have all of it.
Yeah. And it's working and guys are using it. We're using it. But we're trying to be even better. It's definitely a communication platform that has an amazing CRM with an automation engine. So like speed to lead, sales follow-up, review generation, and then whatever your heart desires for your communication side of thing. And then we do automation.
I just admire it so much when SaaS, software services, develop softwares from need and realness, right? Not a bunch of geeks sitting in a lab coming up with some concept on the board, like, hey, CRM, and they've never been out there to get their teeth kicked in by a customer saying, get out of my house, you sweaty roofer, or air conditioning, or electrical, or plumbing, or generators. It doesn't even matter what the asset class is. That when you guys actually have gone out and tested other tools out in the marketplace and said, man, if we only had this, and if we only had this, and if I had this, I'd use it this way.
Yeah,
so we did an episode something out of necessity because you actually use it as a tool. It's like building your own toolbox but your ultimate tools for the roofing job or the air conditioning job, right? So it's really neat that you built a tool that came out of really doing the work, not just some college kids with some, goofy headsets on and a computer thinking of theory.
If you're having a weekly meeting with like an MVP type of situation, that's not what AJ and I've been doing for the past 3+ years.
Yeah.
We've been having thousands of hours of conversation of how to do this and how to do that and what to do this and how to make the automation effective and what part of the process makes sense. And then a couple of weeks ago, we did an interview with my Athens area owner who worked for me before we had ProLine. So he has a very unique perspective. He's using another major, huge CRM in the roofing space. And he's like, he said exactly what you just said. He said, I wish it was doing all these things. And then he just started working last June. He started again. And he's like, you're doing all the things now. You're doing all the things that we wanted to do 5 years ago.
Yep.
And it's like, that's the point. That's exactly why we made
I love it. That's awesome, man. Awesome.
So, well, I don't want to. We're going down some awesome rabbit holes.
I don't even. We just started the podcast, and we're half an hour in of awesome conversation.
It's great. I want to make sure we talk about Improvifi though, because that's I want to flesh that out. I want to learn more, and then I'm sure all of our listeners want to learn more as well. So can you? And I know you have some NDAs and stuff like that you got to walk around, but what was the motivator for starting Improvifi? What is your vision? And I guess, what is it that you woke up in the morning and said, this needs to exist? Can you walk me through that?
So easy to answer. So I've been in the finance space for over 25 years, started in roofing in 91, built custom homes in 87. I know I'm dating myself, and got into finance in 1993. And the majority of just take the last 10 years to really just bring us up to nowadays, right?
Sounds good.
I've worked for lending institutions. I worked for banks, real lenders, prime lenders. Like you're there and you've got their programs to offer, and only their programs to offer. So the moment that you're working for that lending institution, they're all great, by the way. I've got nothing bad to say about any of the experiences or lenders that I've worked with. Nothing bad to say about any of them. They're all good in their own ways, right? Just like what you guys have explained here today. Here's the problem. I couldn't help that person. And I'm like, I want to help all of them guys. I can't, because I only have this product menu to sell. So I'm selling super prime over here, and this guy's got a 679, and I only go to 680, but I want to help him because I love John, the contractor, and I want his customer to get helped. So the concept and thought in the process of Improvifi was to have a multi-lending platform that could help more homeowners and more contractors with one soft credit pull at the point of sale. Very simple, right? Remember the lending tree from the mortgage side of the world?
Yeah.
Pretty much the same concept. So the technology is the same, is that we have multiple lenders from super prime to subprime on one platform with one soft credit pull. So at the point of sale, you could take one application and the customer's app goes through the algorithm in the tool to kick them the best program pricing and product and approval. Boom, you're good. So leaving the banking world in one way or another, I said, well, geez, how do I do this? And then this is where the whole idea of Improvifi, the name was like, I don't know, just what we do. We name shit like Google and everything else. Like we just come up with funky names. So I was like improvement, finance, Improvifi, combine them together. So I came up with a name. But here's the solutions. We have consumer direct, and I'll explain what these are at the end for the listeners. Indirect lending, also known as merchant lending, and secured lending. Those are three things, right? Those are the three things. I'll explain. Consumer direct, or direct to consumer, they call it, is when your customer goes and gets a personal loan from a lending institution, the money goes to them, and then hopefully that customer pays you, the contractor. That's good for some contractors. Electricians, plumbers, are just in there for a short, quick job, maybe a small ticket, and they don't really care about financing because they just want to give the customer a payment option. When the customer get the money, then they want them to get paid, right? But for replacement guys that want to maintain control at the point of sale, like roofers, generators, windows and doors, etc., it's super important that you control the point of sale because you don't want them out there bidding and all the other things that they'll do if you turn them into a cash customer. It's important for you to get the money directly to your ACH at the end, and that's called merchant lending or indirect lending. meaning that cuts closed loop funding. The customer can't go to the lenders that you're enrolled with us to get the money to secure that job. It has to go through you. And John, that customer's approval is only good with you. You can't go to ABC, XYZ down the road and use that money, you got to approve it. It's closed loop.
Super important. Super important. Happens all the time.
Yep, maintains control at the point of sale. Whereas direct to consumer, you've turned your customer into a cash customer. And I'm not going to name all those lenders. We know who they are. And they can go bid you, cash discount you, and do all the things that cash buyers do. I said do. All right. So explain. That's consumer lending. Why do I offer it? Because not every contractor's been in business for 2 years and does $500,000 a year annual sales revenue. Some guys are new and it's all that they can offer, and offering something is better than offering nothing. That's why I built direct to consumer in the model. Soft credit pull, cost nothing. There you go. Indirect lending, same thing. You've got multiple lenders, and then secured lending. Let's talk about that for a second. Why would I add a finance solution in Improvifi that takes 14 to 25 days to close? I'll explain why. Because sometimes metal roofs are $150,000. Sometimes kitchen floors and baths are $255,000, aka California, and some of the larger home improvements. Sometimes contractors need progress pay throughout a project so they can do a home improvement. Unsecured lending to $100,000 ain't going to cut it for those guys. I'm on the phone with a design, remodel, or renovation guy, and he's like, cool. What are my progress pays? And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You get paid at the end. That ain't going to work for me. Click. Like, that's not me providing a solution. So I partnered up with the nation's largest mortgage company. We built a renovation remodeling team that gives homeowners future appraised value on their projects. Why is that important? Well, because if you're doing a $150,000 home improvement, shouldn't the appraisal reflect the fact that you have an appraised increased value in the home? Boom. So that's why I combined secured lending. I like to do loans over 100,000 for any of those listening. I will go down to 50. Indirect merchant lending, direct to consumer, all under one company called Improvifi.
Awesome. It's a very, very good solution. I'm glad somebody has done it, because it's a common question from contractors I talk to, and then definitely homeowners that we talk to. It's like, how does this work? You know, here's a question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned lending tree. So if somebody does a soft pull, is the consumer going to get shotgun blown up with people reaching out to them?
No, it's just point of sale. Here's your options. Boom, right there. So it doesn't go to a market. It doesn't go to a marketplace, right?
That's a huge thing. It's a huge
probably
thing.
Probably shouldn't have made that the
comparison.
It's hard to make a comparison because this model doesn't really exist right now. But for those thinking, like, instead of just having one offer from a lender, you're going to have hopefully multiple offers, like a 15-year, a 12-year, a 7-year, and a 12-month same as cash hybrid that rolls to a, but like, you'll have 3 options for the customer to go, oh my goodness, the payment's only 114 here. Okay, that's the interest rate. All right, the payment's 140 here, and that's the interest rate. Oh, wow, the interest rate's 8.99. I like that. And there's no prepay. So yeah, maybe we'll go with the middle option. And then you've got your 837 borrower, your FICO, that's a cash buyer, has the money, doesn't want to spend it. And he goes, dude, just give me the 12-month same as cash. I'm going to pay this thing off when my taxes and my bonus come in. I don't even pay interest on anything, but I don't really want to use my credit card right now. I don't want to pull the money out of 401k or sell my Bitcoin. I'll just use your 12-month same as cash, John, and I'll pay this thing off in a couple months. There's no prepayment penalty. So that's kind of like the mentality of the choices that you always want to present to a consumer. 3 options, let them decide. But hey, we always take cash check or your insurance check as well, right? Like, yeah. So that's a concept, man. That's what I built, and now I need money. Somebody out there listening to this, give me money so we can go build this company together.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really cool. It's unique. There's oh God, I'm going to say it out loud. I don't give a shit. Nobody's doing what I'm doing in the United States of America, period, end paragraph. I'm a blue ocean strategy, and there's no company that does direct to consumer, indirect lending, and secured lending under one roof, period.
What are you looking to raise right now? Is it more like a seed? I don't want to go down the rabbit hole too much, but I guess this would be, seed. Are you looking for angels, like a seed round type of thing?
I just need money to have operating capital so I can build a team, and I don't need a big team because it's really low overhead. Just need to raise some money so I can
just some operating capital
to get the business launched, to build a little tiny team, and then of course scale. So somebody can put those 275 leads in, follow up for them while I'm on the phone doing consulting over here. It's really
I might need a sales rep to start.
No, see, here's the
Okay.
problem. I
But two
am the
things.
sales rep.
Yeah.
I'm the talent.
That is a problem. I would say two things. It's exciting that you built this platform. That is exciting for me to hear it from a roofer hat. Roofer hat's on. I'm excited. Second, I have a question. Why has no one done this?
I think that there's been parts that have been done. I don't think it's been combined.
Sure.
And I also think that there's some secret sauce in here that I have, and it's not a secret. You can go to my YouTube channel, watch 200 videos. It's a toolkit to go to market strategies and tactics, margin integrity, sales call, sales training, and then keeping your sales reps active. So the secret, and I make posts about this all the time. Anybody can enroll in a finance program. Not everybody can make it active and make it work.
Sure.
So where the rubber meets the road is just what we keep talking about with everything today, is getting enrolled and then becoming active and selling. How do you sell at the point of sale? How are your sales reps presenting it? What programs with margin integrity so I can make sure that Peach State roofing is profitable? What programs? What is your margin integrity? What are you building in your pricing when you go to the marketplace? Like, that's the secret sauce that is going to be packaged up in this consulting package that the competitors do not have.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. I mean, everybody asks that question. Well, how do you sell this? Like, there's dealer fees or whatever they say or they understand about financing. They don't actually understand how to sell it. They have the enrollment. They're there in the financing program, but they're too scared and they don't know. They're not educated on how to deploy the sales part of it.
Yes,
and how to put it in their proposal. And that's a huge deal that. Everything you're saying, I think we also agree about ProLine. Like, people have put together parts of what we have done, but no one has done exactly what we have built. Yeah. And as a CRM in the roofing space or in the home services space, communication platform built on the platform. Yep. That's what we focus on. And then the CRM comes and it has an amazing automation engine. Like, no one has done that. And then the secret sauce is very similar to what you're saying. Like, we're giving all of that information. We're giving the little golden BBs. You just have to shoot them. Yeah. You got to shoot the BBs.
Yeah, dude, you broke that down so beautifully the other night in your insomniatic mood. You know, and you're not selling. You're just having a conversation. Guys, here's how we're doing it. You got to take action. You got to put the door hanger out there with a QR code on it with an offer. You got to put a yard sign out. You know, what's funny is so contractors get wicked bent out of shape about building 10% into their pricing across the board to offer finance solutions so they can sell more at the point of sale and offer affordability. Woo, that was a big mouth. Who cares? What happens when the Beacon and the ABC and the XYZ distributor says, hey guys, price increase? What do? You go back to your book, you change your prices, you go out and sell. You don't put your little tail in between your legs and say, I'm done. I'm going to go work at Publix. You go, okay, cool. We have to raise our prices. So if financing is a product that's built into the price of whatever you're selling, a roof, a generator, siding, windows, doors, doesn't matter what it is. It's a product and it's built into the price of that. It's cost of goods, COGS, right? And you got to pay 10% to a lender for it, maybe. But you have 3 programs. One is no dealer fee, one is 5, and one is 10. And if 80% of them closed under the no dealer fee program at the end of the year out of 100 deals, you made an extra 10% on 80% of your jobs. Do the math.
It's a lot.
So did financing cost you 10%, or did it make you 80% more on, or 10% more on 80% of the jobs? Zero cost average that out at the end of the year, sucker. Then if you added 10% in and they asked for a cash discount and you said, I can absolutely give you a cash discount for 5% today, Mr. Smith. If you give me the cash right now and 3 referrals and a yard sign for 90 days, I'll give you 5%. You got 3 referrals, a yard sign for 90 days, which is a lot of referrals in the neighborhood, and you made an extra 5%. This is the sauce that needs to be built into the incorporation of selling and roofs and in air conditioning and in windows and doors and whatever asset class you're in. This is what they miss. All that they do is get blinded by the matrix and dealer fees, and they forget that financing is a selling tool.
Correct. It's not just the money that you can generate additional profit. It's the actual sales that you make and the availability to the actual consumer.
How
Like
do we
that's
buy?
it.
How do we buy things on Amazon? 4 equal payments. What? We're all doing it now. So anyway,
I've
more
won.
questions.
I've played devil's advocate on this. So
Please.
you're
He loves to.
saying, we're talking about you're going to close more deals because you have this built in. You do the 10%, but then devil's advocate,
Please.
if I'm raising my rates by 10% more than I otherwise have to, because I'm already raising my rates for ABC supply and for other costs that are going up, the additional 10%, aren't I gonna lose some sales that I otherwise would have had to my competitors that are maybe charging less?
Yes, and I hope you do. Because you're going to sell more, because you're going to have an affordable payment solution at the point of sale that your competitors don't have.
So you're saying the net positives are going to outstrip those losses.
Someone literally posted that the other day in one of the Facebook groups, and then they tagged Chris. This is at least a week ago. They're like, my competitor was $10,000 higher than me, and the only difference, he's a great, like they said all the positive things about like that competition. He had a no interest, no payment option, and he sold it for $10,000 more. How do I do this? That's what he said. That's real.
Wasn't $1,000 more. It was
10,000.
10,000 more. So are we talking $100,000 roof would be 10%, right?
Yeah, and I was thinking that too. I was like, this is not a $100,000 roof. I know this is not. It's probably like maybe a $40,000 or $50,000 roof. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
So it just the ability to market and advertise affordable payment solutions, 12 months same as cash, no payments till 2025 is the attractive character in the room. Here's the bottom line to this point. If you've built 10% in, and your consumer sees a low monthly payment option of $114, $148, and they know that they have to take $12,000 and divide it in 12, which is $1,000 a month. Most consumers in today's market might go, I can't take the 12-month same as cash because I can't afford $1,000 a month every month for the next 12 months to pay the promo off. I'll take the 148 or the 114. I'll double up my payments. I'll pay it off as soon as I can. So if you've built 10% because you know that that's the cost of the 12-month no interest, no pay, and I'm just throwing numbers on it. It might not be 10%. It might be 7%. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Most of them are going to take the low monthly payment option out of the zero cost averaging out of 10 jobs or 100 jobs, doesn't matter, because they can afford a low monthly payment option where they can't divide 12,000 by 12 months and go, I can't afford $1,000 roof payment. I can afford 148. I can afford 375. Well, good. Make a $375 a month payment each month to the lender, not 148 the minimum. So
we have like 2 minutes, but I have a pretty good story that we just got off my team call at my Peach State Roofing. Cameron's going to a neighbor or the next door neighbor of a job we did last year. They kind of screwed us because we gave them a cash price and they used their credit card and we didn't enforce the percentage, whatever. That's a bad thing. Okay. That's a management side of things, but they chose to not use our financing to pay it off with their brand new credit card. And they had 12 months to pay it off. Yeah. And now they're complaining because it stressed them out for 1 year. Exactly the same story you just said. Yeah. And it's in their mind of like, it's 0% though. Like, okay, you can't take care. It's like we did the main house and now it's the next door neighbor who is their rental house and they need a new roof and they can't do it because they have this crazy high payment on their personal house and now they can't replace the roof.
And it's a 20-9 or 25% probably.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So now they're super stressed on I think it was like a $17,000 roof.
Yeah. Hey, just real quick to that point, because I know someone's listening. Here's the cliffhanger. You can offer a 12-month same as cash that converts to a low monthly payment option on month 13. It fixes it at 1099, 130 payment factor. So on a $10,000 roof, it rolls over on month 13 to $138, which is affordable because it's fixed at a 1099 interest rate for 10 years. So there are solutions to this, guys. You just have to call like Scoville and say, hey man, what do I do? Yeah. That's it.
Well, let's wrap up there real quick. We always do a question at the end. What are you looking forward to the most in the coming week?
I've got some tremendous coaching partners that have trusted me to help train their people. And I mean, they're people that we know in this industry. I'm just looking forward to spreading the love out there, man. I got 3 major partnerships that I'm launching in the next couple weeks, and I'm just super stoked to help more people. That's it.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
John?
About to get on a roof right now. That's why I got a hard stop right now. Going to get on some roofs this week. It's finally, even though it's beautiful weather in sunny Tybee Island, people still treat it like it's Ohio. So our sales cycle is generally April through October. So now we've already roofed some this year, but I'm excited about getting on roofs this week.
All right, go get them. Man. Be safe up there, brother.
We're hiring people at ProLine, so I'm super excited. We got someone starting. Today's their first day, so we're growing. There's a team. I look forward to you having that same experience here soon.
Please, Lord. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me here. This has been real good, off the cuff, podcast. This is great. I love it.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. See everybody next week.
Bye, everybody.